Oh, because it's in.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's now
okay.
recording.
It still says I have to request permission.
Okay. Please request permission from the meeting
That's
host.
what I'm getting.
Okay, just a minute.
Well, I got it recording in Camtasia, just so you know, it is recording.
Okay, well, go ahead and record it on that.
That's what I'm doing. But then
Okay.
I'm going to need some place to put it because I don't
Okay.
have the. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. You're now ready to start the meeting.
Oh, right, it's me. Okay, well, welcome everyone to the E-Club of North Texas Rotary meeting for Tuesday, July 10th. And tonight we have a great speaker. Bob Baer is a good friend of mine. I know Bob probably about 10 years, maybe longer, maybe longer. And we'll have a great presentation. I'd like to start with Rick doing his prayer, his blessing, benediction, and then we'll go on to the pledge.
All right, for the invocation, let's bow our heads in prayer. We thank you, great creator of the universe, for all the things you've blessed us with. Thank you for the talents you've given us and our abilities to use them in the Rotary way as we do good around our community and the world. Thank you for the great country we were able to live in that we celebrated last week with our Independence Day, and glad to have everybody back and having you taking care of all of us and all of our troops around the world that give us this freedom. All these things we ask in his name and raise up to you in this blessing. Amen.
Amen.
And then we'll do the pledge. You could stand or sit, or we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Perfect. Okay, so first let's see if there's any business. Does anyone have any business that we need to know about? Linda would probably be the one to ask.
Okay, well, we just got back from International Convention. There's about almost 27,000 people from 170 countries. We had a great time, saw people from around the world that we know. Also, we will be having some of the speakers from the different fellowship booths and the project booths. We had a booth there from Bill that was on the Malawi girls' education, the Cuba trips, which will be next summer. Bill is in Malawi now, and also on the adoption awareness. So it was called Rotary Partners. And David has his hand up to do something. Oh, David Forward, who wrote The Century of Rotary, the Foundation, 100 Years Foundation. He has offered to be a speaker for us also.
Great.
He's past district governor out of New Jersey, but he's also helped with all the Frank Talk books and all of that. So, he was twice district governor, 2 years in a row, because his governor-elect had some illness or something. So anyway, but he will be one of our speakers, and I've got some, I think, from Australia in different places. So anyway.
Oh, I had something too. I got an email that we're supposed to nominate people for awards for the club if there's any, and I'm not quite sure what I need to do to make that.
Okay, I am working on that. I've got to call into Julie over at the Boys and Girls Club. She's going to be writing us a letter on our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club and the activities. I found out on Friday afternoon that they were having an ice cream tasting contest over at the farmers market in Grand Prairie. So David and I went over there and helped a little bit and tried to promote the Boys and Girls Club. They didn't win the contest, but we had a lot of fun. A lot of people came by. So that was Grand Prairie Saturday morning. It was too late to notify anybody. It was just basically tasting. We had to taste about 8 different ice creams. So It was really good.
Dang.
And they had a lemon ice cream with lemon poppy cake that they had put in a little square. We had different kinds, key lime pie, strawberry, apple pie, all this other types of ice cream. So about 8 different ones from different organizations in Grand Prairie. Also on August the 18th is the awards dinner over at Haggard's Party Barn. That's in Plano. We've had a lot of things there. So we might want to plan to go. But I am submitting one, like I said, on the partnership with Boys and Girls Club, and I'll have to look at the other ones. We will see. Also with the adoption awareness. Well, no, we didn't have an adoption awareness this last year, did we? Yes, we did. We had one in August, so I'll have to submit that one. We've been disqualified in the past because they said it's a district project, but Rick did not have any district projects, so we led this year again, and I am working with the boys and with the CPS, also with the Plano Rotary Clubs. We will probably have one there next April in the Plano area. Church has donated their building that we can use for that day, so we're working on that.
Did you
And-
say the awards banquet was the 18th
Yes,
evening?
evening at Haggard's Party Barn.
And July 14th is the round table, and I'm going to go to that for the...
Oh, did you get notice on that?
Yeah, so I thought I should go, so I'm going to go.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will be there too. We had heard that the AGs were going to let us know, so I guess I'm out of the loop now. So if you will let me know, because they've been changing them around.
Oh, I don't know if they changed it. I just got it a few weeks ago.
Okay, no, they changed it around. Usually the aide, governor's aide sends out the announcement, but he told me that he was going to, Bill wanted the AGs to send out the announcement to their clubs.
Okay. It said that it was going to be at the iHeart Media Center on Dallas Parkway on
Right.
Saturday. So I thought, now that I'm going to be the president, I should at least try to go to the ones I can.
Okay, that's fine.
So
David
thought
and I will
would
be there
help
too.
out with that. I still need to find out who's the secretary and what do I need to tell her.
Charlotte Burns is our secretary. I sent you a message.
I don't know how to reach her. I don't have the updated list.
It's the same list I gave you last year.
Okay. So now I will contact her. And then I need to know if there's any paperwork. I was reading that book you gave me, and there was papers that had to go out to the district and to the national about membership and dues and stuff. And I wasn't sure what was due when and what to send.
Okay, I'm going to be sending out a due statement. I've learned how to do that through Club Runner. So
Okay.
I'll be sending out a due statement this month or this
Okay.
week. And I'm treasurer, so that's my responsibility.
Oh, okay.
I've already gotten a couple of checks.
Okay.
So anyway, and I think Jose said he was mailing in a check. That was when I was gone.
Okay.
So I've gotten several checks.
Chan.
Okay.
And but you and I need to get together and go over some stuff when
Right.
we're
Well, when we
offline.
go to the installation, I could take some time, and when we're together, that would be a time we'd be together on the 24th. I'll be there, and you'll be there, and Rick will be there.
Okay,
So
that'll
maybe
be
that would
good.
be a good time. I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to, and I'm not quite. I have a sense of the scope, but I don't have all the details, and I don't want to make a mistake because I wasn't aware of something.
Okay, Bob, Howard has just stepped up just a couple of weeks. I don't know if he told you, but our president-elect resigned and went to another club.
Oh,
And so Howard was kind enough to step up and be our president. So he only had like a 2-week notice.
Well,
well, you've got someone that's very
tech
tech
savvy,
savvy, so that's good.
Okay, I think we're hearing you from two things, Bob.
Yes.
Do you have your
Ah, okay.
the
Yeah,
other-
we're getting your phone and your computer at the same time.
How about now?
Better.
Okay, much better.
Much better.
Okay.
Okay, so I will
Howard.
introduce. Oh, go ahead.
You're it.
Oh, I'm it. Okay. Well, then I'm going to introduce my speaker, Bob Baer. I know Bob for quite a few years. He's been involved in many things, but one of the things I found most interesting was he's a publisher. He publishes authors, and he's also involved in helping people write books. And his topic tonight is on how Rotarians can each create a book. And I know as a publisher, it's something he knows a lot about. And I believe you're a past president as well, aren't you, of a Rotary Club?
I am
Yes. Yes.
North Dallas Rotary.
Perfect. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Bob, and I hope he'll consider joining our group. It's a small group, but it's a nice group.
Maybe you can tell me how to
Sure. There's a thing
share the
that
screen.
says share the screen. I think it's down on the bottom. It's or Alt S. I think if you press Alt S, it'll let you share your screen. Am I correct, Linda? I don't hear Linda now. Linda's voice went away. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. We don't hear Linda.
Okay, guys. Okay,
Trying for years.
David's been trying for years. Okay, Bob has started screen sharing, and I'm going to mute.
Okay. And Bob, I'm going to mute also so there isn't any noise while you're presenting. And I'll come back when you're done.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to...
It's showing. Your PowerPoints are showing. If you click on the slideshow from beginning, it'll play from the beginning. That's all you need to do. Right there. Where it says from no, on the left, where you are. There. Hit that. Yes, that should work. In theory. Oh, there you go. Okay, we're good. Okay, you're now showing your slides.
Okay. That is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Well, tonight what I want to talk about is reasons why a person should become a published author. It's something I've helped people with quite a bit in the past and know a little bit about, and I just like to motivate people. And as I go through this, I think you'll begin to understand some of the really great reasons why it's a good thing, especially for Rotarians who believe in service before self, to become published authors. One of the reasons I want to talk to you about is that if you share a message that you're passionate about, you are able to create a book, create a blog, create an article, create a podcast. Whatever you are, you're able to do something, and maybe you can hear it in my voice. I love to see people write great books that do something good for the world. The thing is, have you ever tried sharing something that you're passionate about with a person and they just keep interrupting? Wouldn't it be nice to have the podium for a few minutes without losing your train of thought? With a book, you can do that. Another thing that you can do that's very helpful with a book is it helps you move the dial. It helps you influence people. It helps you take a group of people and get them on the same page with you. I like this quote by Brian Tracy: "Your rewards in life will be in direct proportion to the value of your service to others." And one of the things that I discovered was, on my own, I can only do so much. As I tried to find ways to leverage myself, at one point in time, I wrote my first book, and it was a whole new world. I discovered that writing a book is kind of like starting a business, which is something I've done all my life, being an entrepreneur, and it was really exciting to me. You can use a book to influence people, help them adjust their views, enlarge their thinking, change their perspective. It's a valuable method of being able to move people. Another good reason for creating a book is to motivate a group of people to act. You know, sometimes we can speak to a group of people, and in a 20-minute talk, we might give some motivation, we might raise some interest, but a book is one of the best ways to get credibility, to establish yourself as an authority. Daniel Pink wrote a book called Drive, and in that book, he listed 3 things that he said were the most powerful motivators, the most powerful drivers. One of them was autonomy. We don't like to be totally bossed around by somebody else. One of them was mastery, and that's one of the great motivators about nonfiction books, is when you can offer to give someone better mastery in a skill. But the most important reason to me, the drive that really hit me in that book, was purpose. People are looking for a purpose. And Rotary provides that, especially to altruistic and service-based people. There is a purpose. Sometimes on the spur of the moment in an elevator or at a business meeting or a networking meeting, it's hard to express a powerful purpose to someone. But if you have a book and you're able to leverage yourself through that, you can express that drive and help other people get the same motivation you have. Another one, and you may laugh about this, but another reason for writing a book is it can be great therapy. It helps you gain perspective about other people. It helps you gain perspective about yourself. And what I'm going to be telling you about in a little bit, a way to create a book by talking it, it can be relaxing and enjoyable and not the difficult pain that some people think of. Another motivating reason, I think, to write a book is that, and again, you might laugh, it'll make you smarter. As you write, you have to think, you have to consider, you have to do research. And in the process of creating a book, it helps you structure your thinking about a subject. It helps you retain things that you learn. It helps you process negative feelings. And like exercise, writing a book creates a transformation in yourself. You really get to know your subject. And especially for someone that's passionate about a cause, someone that's interested in service, that can only help you become better at your speaking, at your teaching, at doing something with your life. And finally, one of the reasons I want to tell you about writing a book is that it helps you to leave a legacy and create lasting influence in the world. I do like Brian Tracy, and so I have a second quote by him. True happiness and fulfillment come when you feel that you are making a valuable contribution to your world. Creating a book, getting the word out there helps you reach and address people that are particularly interested in your message. And the importance of that is you can address more thoroughly someone that's already motivated. People that aren't interested in the message you're trying to express won't get your book, won't read your book. And so you're going to have a focused, lasered ability to reach people that are really interested in the subject that you're passionate about. And also, writing a book helps you distinguish yourself. Maybe you can do things that nobody else can do. Well, to tell you the truth, very few people actually write a book. In speaking engagements, I ask people, how many people in this audience have ever thought about writing a book? And usually in my experience, at least 50 to 70% of the people raise their hand. There was a writer, Joseph Epstein, who says that 81% of Americans feel that they have a book in them. Now, in this particular article, he says, don't do it. I tried it, and it's really, really hard. Well, it's true. There's a lot of moving parts, not only in getting the book written, but then in getting it published. But if you get advice, if you find someone who will help you walk through the steps or just even do the research yourself, it is not as difficult as most people make it seem. Most people make it seem. Another thing that you can do with a book is you can use it to help incubate a business or a movement. You can take your book and follow it with an audio course, an online course, speaking engagements, consulting. It can be the beginning of the next phase of your life. In creating a movement, some of the things that I've read are, you start with a small group of people, you spread the word, you make it popular, you rally the troops, hopefully you can make it viral, you set up communications in your group, and you start to get noticed. That's one thing that you can do starting with a book. Now, you've noticed I haven't said something here. I haven't had a reason to write a book is to make a lot of money or to get famous. And I left that out on purpose. That is one of the standard reasons that people think of. But in most cases, to tell you the truth, if you don't have another step to follow, if you don't have a follow-up product or a follow-up purpose for your book, just the book in itself may not sell enough to make a lot of money. But if you can use your book to fulfill your dream, if you can use your book to start what you want to create to happen, that is a great reason. Now, because of that, and because this is a Rotary group, I'm going to go into some reasons why creating a book is a really great thing to do for a nonprofit endeavor, either people individually or as a group. There are some good ways to use it. One of the reasons that a book is good for a nonprofit is that you can tell your story on your own terms. You don't have to worry about what the newspaper or the media is going to say about you, their filter and their influence. With your book, you can put your best foot forward and explain on that platform exactly what you want to express. Another great thing about books is that in the process of creating the book, again, whether it's an individual or a group of people in a Rotary club, in the process of researching and creating your book, you're going to be creating a lot of content that you can repurpose for social media, presentations, and reasons like that. A well-structured book creates a lot of content for you, and it also helps you get all your volunteers on the same page and perspective. In fact, if it's done right, a good book can help position your group as a group of thought leaders because you can express what you want to express. Even a self-published book, if it's well done, and that's one of the important things, if it's done well enough, if it has a professionally designed cover, if it has a professionally done interior, and it's been edited well, people aren't going to be able to tell the difference between a self-published book and one that's published by a traditional publisher. Consider this, compare handing out business cards at an event, compare that to if you were handing people an autographed copy of your book. That's something that makes a lot better impact. Another reason that a book is good is you can use the book to bring in new supporters, new volunteers, because it introduces your cause and your thinking to potential new clients. And it can create basically foot in the door opportunities. It can introduce you. Now that we've talked about some of the reasons for writing the book, or a book, or several books, let me give you a little clue on some ways to create a book more easily than what you normally think of. A good friend of mine who's a ghostwriter has been using a system for years to write books, and her and I are putting together an online course that will actually be out in a couple of weeks, but it's something that I'm going to tell you about. You can learn how to do this even without our course. We call it the Talk Your Book system, but you can create a book, and Howard Berg, you know this, you can create it by speaking it. And there is a system for that works really well. A lot of people are so distracted in their life. They have so many things going on that if they just think, okay, I'm going to sit down whenever I have time and sit down in front of my computer and start typing and start writing my book, a lot of times that doesn't work out because it requires some focus, and there's so many other things screaming for our attention. When you speak your book, there's real advantages to it. Rather than trying to create a new life skill that maybe you don't already have, maybe you're not a writer, the challenge to create a book becomes a lot easier because you're using a natural ability that most people have, which is talking. And even if you don't have that, what I'm going to describe to you will make some sense to you because you can have someone else interview you and ask you questions and use that to create your content. One of the beautiful things about this method is if you do it right, you organize yourself right, you're not going to have writer's block. And this is something that, again, I learned from Howard Berg several years ago when he was talking about how to eliminate writer's block. Your brain works naturally and words flow out of your mouth. When you're trying to reroute that information and your brain is trying to send the information into your hands, into your fingers, a lot of times you just get blocked. It's not normal. But talking, if you let the flow of your thoughts come out of your mouth, is so much easier. And again, one of the great and beautiful ways to do that is having someone interview you and ask you questions. But there is a key in doing that correctly. And that is you have to have your book planned and structured well. It's more important to start out in the beginning having a strategy meeting, creating content, and organizing your book into topics and chapters and bullet points. Imagine that you had a subject that you were really interested in, and you sat down or worked with a book coach or someone working with you or took a course on how to properly structure a book. And you spend more time in the beginning creating the structure of your book and the outline that makes sense until you have the content of your book outlined. Imagine you have a book with 10 chapters, and in each chapter you have 10 bullet points, 10 topics that you want to cover, and you arrange those in a logical order. And then you take those bullet points and you turn them into questions. And then you make arrangements with someone, hopefully someone in your field or someone that you get along with, someone you really like, and you set up a series of calls, and you have your friend call you, maybe one call a week, and cover one chapter at a time. And on the phone, on a recording like this is, either on Zoom or on free conference call, you have them ask you those questions, those 10 questions, or however many bullet points are in that chapter, while you're recording it. When you're done, you get the recording transcribed, and you have a lot of great content. Then you take that transcription and either you begin to edit it and turn it into content that flows better yourself, or you turn it over to an editor and have a professional editor edit it. And chapter by chapter, using that system, you can create a really great book. A little more detail on the chart I showed you before. These are actually the 9 steps in our course, the Talk Your Book system. And you can see that it starts out just like starting a business, just like starting a nonprofit organization. You start out really pinning down what is your vision and your strategy. Basically, what's your mission? What do you want the book to end up to be? The next step is knowing who your readers are, knowing what they want, knowing what their needs are. And there are ways to do that. One of the great ways to do it is with surveys. And you just take a deep dive. There's a book called Ask that the whole book is about taking surveys to find out from a group of people what they're really interested in, what they want to hear, what their needs are. And that helps you to design and focus as you're having these conversations on exactly what your audience is looking for. Then you go into title creation and the concept and the subtitle, and there's some specific, very important things in that. You gather your materials, your resource materials in step 4, and then you begin to organize the content, the materials, create your outline. And then step 6, you start doing what I was talking about, which is having a series of phone calls, letting the person interview you following the steps of your outline. And while you're doing that, if you have a great interviewer, they're going to ask you some questions. They're going to say, well, wait a minute. I don't quite understand what you're saying there. Can you give me an example? Has that ever happened to you? Can you give me a story? And they will pull out of you more information than you would have ever put down just sitting in front of a computer falling asleep. The next step, of course, is to transcribe your recordings, and we go into a great detail in either finding a service or how to do it yourself. There's some great services online that will do transcriptions, and then basically all you end up doing is going through and checking them for mistakes and correcting them, and you have a great transcript. Step 8 is editing your book, turning it into a flow, and then step 9 is polishing it and perfecting it, and you end up with a manuscript, a transcript that you can use going forward to either shop to a traditional publisher, hire a hybrid publisher to do the publishing for you, or self-publish it. There are a variety of ways that it can be done, but what most people consider the hardest part, organizing, strategizing, and actually creating a good, well-structured, interesting book can be done in this method in a step-by-step manner. And I'm excited about it because one of my goals in life, and I like the word leverage. And, writing a book, I leveraged myself a little bit, but one of the reasons I started helping people get published is that I wanted to leverage myself even more. I want to do something good in the world. I believe in the concepts of Rotary, and by helping other people write a book and encouraging people to write books, I feel like it will help me do more good in the world by helping other people find their passion, find a way to express their passion to other people, and finally help them to get the word out there so that what they're passionate about, the good that they're trying to do in the world, can become a reality. And by expressing this method of how to create something and get it out into the world, I want to see more good done. I want to see more people motivated and inspired to get involved in projects and causes like Rotary and help make the world a better place. That's basically what I have for my presentation. Do we have a few minutes for questions? Does anybody have a question?
Yes, you have time. You have time for questions.
So, Bob, I have a question. When you were talking about talking your book and having it recorded, is that something that how would you do that most conveniently?
How to actually do the recording?
Yeah, if somebody's interviewing you or just talking through it.
I like using Zoom. Actually, that's the way we created our online course, is that I set up a series of phone calls using Zoom with the ghostwriter and the editor I'm working with. And then, of course, at the end, we got an MP3. And there is a site online called Temi, TEMI.com. And you can upload an MP3, a recording, and it has the software to do the transcription. It comes back really pretty good. And the cost is 10 cents a minute. So you can transcribe a 1-hour recording for $6. And then you just go from there and do the final editing and correcting.
Okay.
I like to say, you keep saying be inspired. You know that is our RI President's theme, is be the inspiration and inspire others.
No, I didn't know that.
It's be the inspiration.
Be the inspiration. Well, great. So I'm on topic.
Right. Oh,
It's right there on your shirt, Linda.
that's right. That's right.
Oh, sure.
Here.
Our president is from Nassau, Bahamas. And so he's used the wave and then the blue and the sand,
sea and sky.
sand, sea, and sky in the logo.
I see it now. It looks like a good wave for surfing.
Right. So, but he's very good. We just heard him. And thank you very much. I heard you, I guess when I was governor back in 2010 or 11. So thank you for still being around and inspiring us and getting us to do things. I just had to add at the International Convention, one of our speakers was Laura Bush. The convention was in Toronto, and I heard from people from different parts of the world, and they thought she was the best speaker. We also had Justin Trudeau, basically because Canada has been a leader in helping fund our eradication of polio, which we have now got a new case of polio last week in Afghanistan. So now we have a total of 12, I think, for the year versus 350,000 cases a year when we first started. So just bring you up to date on a little bit of Rotary, Bob.
Yeah, that is good. I guess I need to get back in, so I'll start getting the magazine every month.
That's right. We can reinstate you.
But Howard can let me know more about that.
Yeah, I would like that.
So, okay, Howard, you're up. You're back.
Okay. Well, I'm going to close out the meeting with the four-way test, and I will see everyone next week and report on the roundtable. And I guess I'll see you there too, Linda, if you're going.
Right. David and I will be there.
Okay. So the four-way test are the things we say or do. First,
is it the truth?
Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build
goodwill and
better friendships? And four, will it be
will it
beneficial
be
to all concerned? And with that, I'll say thank you, Bob, for coming. I'll see everybody next week, and have a great week.
Thank you. And then you can end the recording, Howard?
Yes, I'll end the recording. And if you could get me the location where to put it, I'll do that as well when I get it.
Okay. I'm trying to find out all that, trying to get passwords. We may just have to create our own deal again that we can put it on the website, our club runner, or something of that nature.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tola.